end of the fight game in Australia, fighting in his 66th outing. I don't want to talk about it too much, but the man is 48 years old, Hammer. It is extraordinary.
Absolutely. He knows nothing else, Sammy Solomon. But Jesse White, you got to look at 6-fight winning streak prior to his last loss, and a red-hot prospect. Absolutely.
Well, you're spot on, Hammer. Jesse White's not going to use this as an exhibition match. Sam Solomon is a legend. I remember as a youngster watching those late-night TV ads of Sam Solomon and come and get your tickets now. He is a legend in this sport. But Jesse White has a absolute momentum to prove here that he can keep going forward. Those 6 wins aren't a fluke. And if he can knock out Sam Solomon or get the win here, that's a big stamp on his passport.
And a big shout-out to Tony Cholge, the Maloney boys, and all watching. I know they'll be in support of Jesse White. Great guys, and all the best to the Maloneys for upcoming fight. I think there's on the 20th, in fact.
I would have thought if anyone could work out a way past Mark McGowan and the West Australian border controller to be Tony Cholge. He's one of the best. He
is, absolute legend. As Jesse White just plants that right hand on Solomon, but Solomon, they've done the homework, and Sammy, one thing Sammy does is he tries to step through on that left side. So he'll put his foot through, he'll weave under, and he'll come around and he'll work that angle. White has got the plan in place for that movement, and he's looking to counter on Solomon's, again, you know, very erratic and hard to time movement. It's always been Sammy's mainstay in the fact that he's so hard to hit.
Significant support for Jesse White in the house tonight. But Hammy, I just feel like we've seen some bangers tonight. We've seen first-round knockouts. These are two that are taking this fight extraordinarily strategically.
It's been a boxing smorgasbord of everything tonight. It's been unbelievable. Team Ellis have done it again. But this main event absolutely is going to be Sammy doing what Sammy does, because that's what he's done for so long, and he's not going to change now for sure. In turn, you've got Jesse White, who's looking to make a statement here against one of the greats.
Well, no matter the result, Jesse White's going to walk away here with a wealth of experience against Sam. There's not much better you could learn from, but I'm sure Sam's not going to take this lying down either, Seb.
No, he doesn't. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Sammy knows nothing else, so he's going to try and equip himself, just like he did last time out here at the Melbourne Pavilion against Victor Nagby. And Victor, again, a kick fighter that's turned his hand to boxing. He got the win over Sammy there, unanimous decision. And before that, Sakio Bika also beat Sammy. So Sammy needs a win here if he's to continue on.
Very much a feeling-out process in the first round. Sam Solomon and Jesse White. Hard to pick a winner on points in that round, Hammer.
So
I asked Sammy what he thought of being the $2.10 underdog this afternoon. He said, well, probably been a while since I've been the underdog, so I kind of like it.
Maybe put a few dollars on himself as well.
Gamble responsibly, of course.
Just touching that lead glove. Both fighters touching the lead glove. It's interesting.
They're just going to feel each other out here for those first couple of rounds. There'll be a couple of, you know, shots and a couple of chances, but really we know they're two very similar boxers. But Sam Solomon with just a wealth of experience. Jesse White, again, as we said, trying to make a mark for himself. No one wants to make that mistake early.
And we've been talking about how incredible it is that Sam's here in the ring at 48. He gives a lot of the credit to his recovery these days. Spends a lot more time in recovery. Sam Noble, his physio down in Black Rock, is a big part of that recovery process, and wanted to give him a shout out today. But we're seeing nothing in the form of recovery at the moment. We're seeing Sam Solomon doing what he does best, going toe-to-toe in the squared circle.
I reckon Sammy's going to need a good recovery session tomorrow after this one. Jesse White is looking a picture of fitness as well. He's prepped for this one beautifully. And another contender for best shorts of the evening as well.
So a nice right hook just earlier by Jesse White there. But Sam Solomon's out here having a bit of fun just before, making fun of the ref, pushing him, bouncing off the ropes. A bit of a showman still. He's enjoying this. He's out there having the time of his life. Just like you said, this is what he does. Sam Solomon knows nothing else but boxing.
Former three-time middleweight champion of the world. Tonight, a Victorian silver middleweight title on the line. So a strap to motivate these two who need no motivation more than the glory of victory. And you've got to talk about Jesse White. I mean, having a win over Sam Solomon, what does that do for him, Hammer?
It's going to give him a bit of a leg up. I reckon that it'll make him feel confident that he's got a win over one of the cagiest fighters in the sport. Sammy's last win was against Mark Lucas in 2019 in April.
Break! Step back, Jess.
Sammy just hanging on now.
Thank you. Box!
White stalks forward again, the great White.
A volume puncher, Jesse White. Insiders saying perhaps not known for his punching power, Hammer, but certainly
On the back foot rallies, but Solomon pushes him backward. He's got that. Sammy he's got that style that is just it's never trained, never changed.
in terrific shape, both these guys, but particularly Jesse White.
No punching. Box.
20-odd years younger than his opponent, a living legend, Sam Solomon. Truly special to see him go round tonight. Team Ellis in association with Pro Bellum. And there is round number 2 in the books.
So lots of fights are happening. Boxing is certainly back.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to get down to a live event, if it's your first or your 100th, Team Alice put on some great stuff here at the Pavilion. The crowd has been absolutely wild tonight, and I highly recommend getting down for a live show.
Sammy Solomon rolling the overhand right there that just caught Jesse, and the left hook as well.
Stop.
So he's still rolling him out, and he's still catching Jesse White. The left hook.
Break, step back. Stop the holding, gents.
Your motivation changes as life goes on, and Sam very much fights for his family these days. His wife of 17 years, Maria, his boy Samir, and his princess, the appropriately named Cleopatra. Hammer.
And he's got his gym as well, Sam Stable, with a very loyal crew down there training alongside him. So good to see Sammy working with the next generation as well. Throwing that jab out, dancing off to his right, staying away from the power side of Jesse White.
Look, it's just smart boxing. He understands what it's all about. That experience shows in there. That nice counter punch there by Solomon as well.
Oh, that right hand from Solomon hit White. Just over the lead shoulder as well. Down to the body. Straight body shot. White. It's a hard one to call, gentlemen, because they're in and out on all sorts of angles. You're not sure what's hitting cleanly, depending on the angle that you're sitting. And that will also account for what the judges are seeing as well. It can sometimes lead to... Solomon getting caught with the uppercut there as he went in. Fakes. Right hand under the ribs, or on the ribs.
Yeah,
the armpit. Sorry,
White, yes, that's right. Hammer White definitely rocked Solomon there a little bit. He was a bit unsure of himself just for that split second. He just saw in his face, he was like, oh, hold on, I didn't think that was going to happen. And White took a little bit of advantage, but Solomon now, with that experience, is going to back it up if he can.
Fakes. Shifts off to his right, staying away from the power side of Solomon is White.
What fight plan are you seeing from Sam Solomon, Hammer?
Sammy's doing what he's always done. He's trying to loop that overhand. He's faking and then trying to set either with a left hook or an overhand right. As he throws the overhand right, he'll step through to his right side as well. He's not using those big angles to the side as much as I've seen in the past, though. He's sitting in the pocket a bit more tonight, Sammy.
Oh.
The 1-2 straight down the tube. Just as I said that, usually he'll throw the punches and roll off on angles. Tonight he's opting to sit in front a little bit more, like that.
Right.
He'll get under the armpit and change on an angle.
Box.
So we're approaching the halfway point of this one. A Victorian silver middleweight title on the line. This one proudly sponsored by CB Clothing.
That is in the round number 3.
And the third in a match that so far is proving pretty tough to score, Gino.
Absolutely.
Costello rounding out the commentary team this evening. We hope you've enjoyed so far what has been a thrilling program and this a worthy conclusion.
Sammy trying to roll that. He's picked up that White's got that lead hand low, and he's trying to roll that overhand right
Stop and break.
catch
That's no knockdown.
White on the neck, on the jawline with that rolling right. Or will he have the stopping power in it? That's something we're trying to decipher at the moment. White moves well though, solid on his feet.
Box.
He's got a high work rate as well. He's got volume punches when he gets the opportunity.
Some commentators were trying to talk about perhaps Jesse White not being somebody renowned for his punching power. Given the stage of the game that Sam's at, Hammer, where's his power at in terms of the ability to end a fight early?
Look, I think Sammy's always been, a bit of a journeyman fighter, but he just outworks his opponents. He's such a hard puzzle to work out for anyone that faces him. And, a lot of time, by the time the opponent's got some sort of an idea what to do, it's too late, and Sam's got too many rounds in the bank. That was in fights gone by. These days, his timing's changed a bit, his movements changed a bit as well. He's still great, he's still good.
No punching.
And he's still elusive. That defence, as we saw earlier, being defensive and moving out of punches is not going to win a fight for you if your opponent is constantly tapping you with leather,
And I think that's what we're seeing, Seb, here. It's a bit of a chess game from both men. It's gone past the point of working each other out now. It's just both of them have a game plan and sticking to it. If you notice, Sam Solomon hasn't left the middle of that ring for this whole round. Jesse White's working around him, but Sam Solomon's not moving as much. He's conserving that energy, and that's why he's going to get to the end of this.
White getting frustrated with the clinching up, but that's a common occurrence if you're fighting Sam Solomon. He'll throw and grab and move and grab, and he'll just stifle and confound your punching and not let you get any rhythm. That's always been how Sammy's fought, not letting his opponent get any rhythm or any clear fix on him.
Starting to look unsteady in parts, Sam Solomon, as we near the end of the fourth round. This one's scheduled for 6. But he is the aggressor at the moment.
Keeping the pressure on.
The wiser, experienced fighter.
Got his chin up a little bit high there, did Solomon. White made him pay for it with some rapid-fire punching.
Yeah, White was able to land one nicely on the chin of Solomon there. But yeah, Solomon able again to just eat it and keep standing. And now he's gone onto the attack.
Nice switchback footwork, lateral switchback footwork from White as well. Dances in the perimeter of the ring beautifully and then comes in and fires when he has to. Not shy in pulling the trigger when he gets the opportunity, White.
In his ANBF silver title fight, Jesse White, Sam King Solomon.
Again, as many of the fights earlier, a hard one to score. I think, that Sammy's hitting on angles. The judge is going to count those hits cleanly because they're often then...
Round 5 of the main event, Sam Solomon and Jesse White. A very tough, close, strategic battle so far. White with some good support over from his home state of Western Australia.
He's really sitting down on his punches too, White. Just putting that lead hand forward, getting into a real deep stance and then firing a straight right when he gets the opportunity. But Sammy in and out, just levels and changes and angles. Got more angles than an architect as Sam Solomon.
Yeah, if you notice, Sam Solomon during the break really just spent the time recovering, catching his breath.
Oh, a turning hook.
Nicely done by Sam Solomon there as he goes to a neutral corner and the standing count starts.
It is a knockdown. Jesse White perhaps feeling like it was a slip. Hammer, your thoughts?
I think his footing just wasn't. He lost his footing, and it was the hook and the push and the loss of footing all combined that sent him down. So White's now got it all to do. He's really got to get this back now, White.
So does that put this on Solomon's terms?
Well, it's going to make it. It's going to put the pressure on White a lot, And it's the negative mindset that can throw a fighter now, because all of a sudden he starts thinking, geez, I just got that 8 count. How the judge is going to score it? What I have to do? So it distracts you from the job at hand, which is trying to take care of Solomon.
You're thinking about the judges now.
Absolutely, it's a distraction that you don't need.
This is the last warning to both of you. One more holding, I'm going to deduct points. Okay, no more holding.
You know, fighting is all about focus and clarity. And if your focus is taken by what you consider to be a wrong count, you lose your focus, and that can further open the door for your opponent.
Referee Tony Moretta just warning both fighters, any more clinching, and he'll look at deducting points. Oh, big left there from Jesse White, but Sam seems to have swallowed it.
White's thrown some big bombs and Solomon has eaten them up, but they are going to take their toll as this round continues.
Sammy's head's getting up a bit high at stages. White's just smiling at him. Again, shifts to the right.
Yeah, White's picked up the momentum now. Just like you said, Hammer, he's had to pick up a few more points after that standing 8 count. And now White's going to change his momentum just that little bit and try and get Solomon down.
Real sense of urgency now coming into the game plan of White. He needs to make something happen.
Well, this would be huge as we count down the seconds to the 5th and penultimate round. There's one left after this. Sam Solomon, having scored a knockdown in the 5th, in a good position.
Sets the 1-2.
And there it is.
This is a really interesting. It's going to make for a very, very interesting 6th and final round.
And you saw Sammy Solomon gets up early and walked around the ring. The judges do notice that kind of thing as a hug is shared between the men. Respect shown before the final round of this main event.
And this is it. Once upon a time at the Melbourne Pavilion. Ends in 2 minutes and 44 seconds as far as in-ring action is concerned.
Well, the interest here will be whether Sammy fights defensively as opposed to offensively now. Does he think he's done enough? Will he just tick the round down after getting that 8 count, thinking he's got this one?
Just looking back as we summarise the fight, a knockdown ruled on White in the 5th. Was it fair, Hammer?
Break.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was counted as a knockdown. I think it was a half knockdown, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And the judges can, by their own discretion, not count it if they believe it wasn't, a clean knockdown. They can opt not to make it a 10-8.
There you go. A few surprises perhaps left in this contest.
Jesse White taking it up a gear now, knowing this last round is all important. He'd love the points in this one if he can get it. A knockdown will probably ensure the fight for him. And Sam Solomon's just having the time of his life, Seb.
Sam Solomon, a champion of this sport. Jesse White, an up-and-comer, would love to leave the Melbourne Pavilion with a story of how he took it to the king and he claimed the crown. Sam Solomon wanting to defend a legacy that has been earned over 65 hard fights. Jesse on his knees, the two of them almost wrestling towards us here on the broadcast side of the ring.
Once again, Jesse looking to do something, create something. He's trying to get that 8 count back.
A minute to bell time. Good left there.
Solid left hook.
And that's what he's going to need to do to win this round. The all-important last round of this main event, and he does that with that beautiful left hook. And now you can see the smile on his face, the momentum going forward as he brings Solomon up against the rope. And Solomon straight back out.
Well, I'll tell you what, I call the fight of Solomon and Nagby, and I'm telling you that Solomon's actually looking better in this fight than he did in that one. So yeah, that's something to be said for Sammy.
Wherever you're watching this, you are enjoying history. As Sam Solomon, 48 years of age, 66th professional fight, is currently coming to a close. 15 seconds until the bell. A bit of clinching. Tony Moretta, the referee, separates them for perhaps the last time.
Bit of trash talking in centre ring by White.
We're going to the
Throws
final
the right
bell.
hand,
Tony
goes
White,
down to the body.
Jesse White, this is your last chance. Or are we going to go to the judges' cards? Once upon a time at the Melbourne Pavilion has come to an end, and a sign of respect from a young fighter to one of the greats.
How did you score this one at home? It's going to be interesting to see how the judges' scorecards are tallied after this one. Great respect from these two gentlemen in centre ring now, two warriors, great fighters. The young charge, Jesse White. And I like his moves. I like his boxing style. Sammy, well, Sammy Solomon, what can you say? It's the Sammy Solomon of old.
Rounds of championship boxing. On behalf of Team Alice Boxing and Pro Bellum Boxing, we go to the official scorecards. Your first judge, Paul Lee, scored the contest 57-56 to Solomon. Your second judge scored the contest 57-56 to White. Your third and deciding judge scored the contest 59-54, declaring a winner via split points decision and new Victorian silver middleweight champion,